Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Kool-Aid Podcast. Today we're doing a special episode. Today we're doing a UCL reaction. A lot of good games this week, but first and foremost, I'd like to introduce my other co-host, Eliza and Alvaro.
What's up, guys?
So guys,
So as you guys know, we always post a link on YouTube, obviously for the live stream, but we also post it on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So be sure to follow us there to be updated with all the news and to watch all of our videos. But guys, what a week we've had. It's great to have the UCL back. I thought it was a great first match day. Well, starting things off, what a win, 5-0 against Antwerp. Can't get much better than that. What are you
Yeah.
guys' thoughts?
Well, I did give my thoughts on the game yesterday, but overall, I thought it was basically like a perfect performance from Barcelona.
Mm.
Comfortable win at home. With a big scoreline to just basically make a statement, bring up the confidence. Because as you guys know, in Europe in the past couple of seasons, we haven't been great, and so we wanted to start off the season strong. Because like if we didn't start the season strong, and with this scoreline against Royal Antwerp, our confidence would have been on the floor. But luckily that didn't happen. Barcelona got a huge win, and both Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix, they both of them impressed. Both of them have absolutely changed the face of this team for the better, and it's just very very exciting to see.
Yeah, and before Alvaro gives his opinion, I'd like to say, I love that Joao Felix has proved me wrong. I was really a big doubter of him when he came into the club. I didn't think he was the right move, but based on the last few games he's played, I think he's been phenomenal, and he had a wonderful performance. I know it was against Antwerp, it's not against United or Bayern Munich or any other big club, but still, like seeing him get 2 goals and an assist, I thought I thought he was the
Yeah,
best player on the pitch, to be
yeah,
honest, at times. And I know all around it was a solid game. We did see, the defense didn't concede. We did see a few shots on target though.
yeah.
I think a few, more than we would have liked. But nonetheless, I thought, the defense was fluid. The midfield, of course, we dominated. But I will say the attack was something that surprised me. I thought Lewandowski was much more fluid in his game.
Yeah.
He was just dropping into the spaces, creating chances. And again, I excuse me, I thought it was a wonderful performance all
I,
around.
I I think that's also due to Joao Felix being in that front line, because I think that partnership between Joao Felix and
Mhm.
Lewandowski, they help each other so much, and I think that's one of the benefits that Joao Felix can do. And Alex, I completely agree with you. I was one of Joao Felix critics, and it's only 2 games. I'm not gonna say like, oh my god, I was completely wrong on him, but he has put
He's
some
proven
of
us
my
wrong.
doubts away.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is proving us wrong, and I did mention say, hey, I'd rather be proven wrong than to be proven right, especially when we're talking about Barcelona players. And so I'm glad that Joao Felix has had this start, but I'm not. I'm managing my expectations. I'm
yeah,
not saying like, hey, he is gonna have a wonderful season. I'm saying, hey, he started great in these first 2 games. Let's see how it goes. Give him the benefit of the doubt before you just cast him out.
for sure. What
um,
do you think, Albert?
I was trying to look for because remember that I told you guys that I had seen someone on TikTok a long time ago. Once Joao Felix was like confirmed to Barca, he was saying that Joao Felix at Benfica was with attacking football. That's what brought him to the center stage in Europe. And
Yeah,
then when he went to Atletico and to Chelsea, he really didn't see any attacking football. That's why his value dropped. I want to find his account because I don't want to take credit for that. But I mean, he's right, and it's true. Look at him now. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. He had two or three more chances. That was just good goalkeeping by the opposing goalie. I mean, I don't want to say that he's gonna be the starting left wing moving forward, but he has made a very good audition for it. He looked good against Betis the other day. He looked great on Tuesday. So I
yeah,
mean, he's really figuring it out on a position that we had a major hole in. We came into the season with our left winger, and now we can possibly now we feel comfortable so far running a 4-3-3 when we didn't feel comfortable before in the season. Now we can do a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, which is much confidence. And as the game as a whole, expect to win. I was expecting. We didn't do predictions, but I was expecting At least 3 goals, maybe four. We got more. Give Ter Stegen some fresh legs and make him do some plays. I know it's not what we want, but whatever. He had a good game. Good game for everybody. Lewandowski looked a little more clinical. I mean, I don't want to say that he's back because it's look at the rival, but he's looked better. Um, the game as a whole, it was expected. It was expected to be
Yeah.
a pretty easy win. So
I just once again reiterating solid performance.
I have no idea.
I
Also, I completely forgot Vertonghen was for Antwerp. I completely forgot that he went back to play for them.
You mean
oh,
Alderweireld?
Uh,
yeah.
Yo, I don't know why I confused Vertonghen and Alderweireld because they
Yeah,
used
bro.
to be the two center backs, so I completely confused their names.
I'm pretty sure they played together. I don't know if it was for Royal Antwerp, but they did play together in the past couple of years. I don't
No,
know.
yeah, the Spurs.
Yeah, yeah. I know they played with Spurs, but I think they played with another team, but
I forgot. I always confuse
I
their
don't
last
know.
names.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, but now let's talk about a different game. Let's actually talk about Real Madrid versus their game in Union Berlin. I
Not
don't know if
pretty.
yeah, it was not
Hey! I called it in our UCL group predictions. I said
yeah,
Union Berlin might sink into second. You know what? I need to go into Madrid and give them a 1-0.
no.
And please, I don't want to hear the Madrid fans saying Bellingham's a beast. That was a tapping.
But he's been
Yeah.
scoring tap-ins though.
And that's I'm gonna
Well,
say that too.
but see,
I'm gonna say
he's
that
playing
too. One thing you
He's a
gotta give
phenomenal
credit.
player. I think he's
You
been
gotta
a
give
great
credit
signing, but
he's a phenomenal player. You gotta give credit to good positioning, but up to a point. That was just right. What's the phrase?
right place, right time.
Right
yeah,
place at the
right there.
right time.
Wait.
It was just it was lucky. I don't want to hear anything. All right. So
No, but like, hey, Jude Bellingham, he's playing as like your striker. So this is what's so funny. People say like, oh my god, he's like a midfielder who's scoring all these goals, but not really because Real Madrid they're playing with like a diamond in midfield. When you look at the lineup that they started, they had Joselu and Rodrigo. Usually Joselu isn't the one who's starting. Actually, it's either when hopefully when everyone is fit, it's gonna be Rodrigo and Vinny out wide. Also, Lou is playing right now because Vinny Jr. is playing. But the goal right now is for them to play in a diamond. And once again, I his goal overshadowed like his poor performance because I don't think Jude Bellingham was played all that great in the game. But I'm not gonna criticize Jude Bellingham. He's coming in clutch for Real Madrid. Just I wanna like tone down the people who are like are hyping him up to be this generational talent, saying like, "Hey, he's gonna
and
be this
look,
next Zidane or something, or anything like that."
if Valverde takes that, if no, not even because it was a good shot by Valverde. If they go deflects it an inch to the center, Bellingham doesn't get that goal. So Union Berlin could have very well left Bernabeu with a tie, and that would have
Yeah,
been embarrassing for Madrid.
yeah,
Yeah,
Embarrassing.
and I think it kind of shows the state that Madrid is in. I understand they've been winning, but they haven't been convincing wins, and it's been a lot of 1-0s. I know it reminds us of us last season, but it's different because last season we kind of had everyone pitching out a little bit. It was Lewandowski, Rafinha would score, Frankie. They're getting their goals from Bellingham.
yeah,
Simple as that. Like one
They
guy is
don't,
the one that's
they don't
giving
have
all the
help.
goal contributions right now. And I understand he's a great player, but let's be honest, he's not a striker.
yeah.
Even though he's playing in that striker role, he's not a striker. He can't be giving you goals like that every game.
Yep.
And it's a testament to how good he is, how much he's already doing. But again, 1-0 at home against Union Berlin. If you're Real Madrid, I'd be worried if that was the result you're getting.
But that's Real Madrid like in a nutshell. Like yes, at times they're not playing that well, but they still get the win. And like when we look at Real Madrid, especially in the Champions League, Real Madrid they start slow in the Champions League. When we have to remember that sometimes
That's
they come
true.
in second in most of their in the times where they won the title. Even they come in second. They have a difficult group, and that's when they start to ramp up. Looking towards maybe like April, March. During that time is where they ramp up, and you see the best Real Madrid. And so, yes, I know Real Madrid are not playing brilliant football right now, but we do have to keep in mind that like this is not the best Real Madrid at the moment,
Yeah.
and especially they're missing some very key players. Some like Thibaut Courtois, Vini, Militao, players who absolutely change the outlook of this team. And so I'm not discounting Real Madrid just yet. But when I'm gonna give this thought and just like end it right here because we are gonna talk about it a little bit later. But I have tiers in which I have like the favorites for the UCL, and then I'll go into a little bit detail later.
Sounds good. Um, I will say this though, what a game Manchester United versus Bayern Munich. I mean, guys, off the bat, what a performance by Bayern Munich. Utter domination. I mean, I expected them to win, obviously, because of the state that United is in. And I know the scoreline is a little deceiving because it's 4-3, but United were getting slapped.
You think so?
I think they were. I know they had a few chances going up and they couldn't capitalize, but defensively they looked so suspect. Like just look at the transition. Like whenever Sane would have the ball, or whenever, excuse me, whenever Nabry would be moving up the ball as well, like they looked exposed. I saw a bunch of 1-2s between Musiala and Harry Kane that
Yeah.
nearly got through, and same Leroy Sane. Like the build-up play was just, it was great. I mean, I will say this: Onana's a fraud. That first goal should have not gone in. I don't understand. Like
Bro, Onana, like I
he's a,
when I was watching that goal, I was like, Onana, what are you doing, man? You
I
can't.
could have stopped that. Just saying.
Yeah,
But
no. You know what this game reminded me of? It reminded me of Barcelona facing Bayern Munich last season in the Allianz, because actually I think that Man United actually started better than Bayern Munich. I thought they were playing no like the first like 20 minutes, the first 20
yeah,
minutes
okay. No, I mean
before that goal.
I mean, yeah, I'm saying like that's fair, but my point is like I just saw like United being dominated defensively. Like
Yeah.
United, like they couldn't move the ball from the back. You know, they were just relying. They were running the same play. They were just giving it to Bruno Fernandes and then giving it to Rashford, taking it down the left hand side, building up there, which worked. A lot of times they gave him chances, but it's not the same. Like you look at the way Bayern Munich were playing. Yes, I understand they had their moments where they weren't at their best, and United did have good flashes, but come on, it was different.
Without slides.
Well, yeah, it looks like, but yeah, it just the way United were playing that day was something else. I did not like in any sense how their defense looked, but again, this is a problem they've had for a while now. So
You know what? I agree with you. They didn't play a pretty game, but props to them.
I mean, 4-3 is not a
4-3
bad
against
score.
Bayern. Bayern. What was their streak of like unbeaten group stage games? They
Like
have like some.
34 or something like that, 32.
It's some crazy shit. Like they do not get beat in the group stage, and they almost left with a draw. I mean,
Yeah.
props to them, man. That's definitely by far the most entertaining game of the group stage. Like,
Oh well, I
you
mean, like if we're talking about the most entertaining, like when I think about it, I'm looking at the Real Sociedad game.
know what? I was gonna say, okay, most thrilling finish definitely Lazio Atletico, but most
Oh, Lazio Atletico was
entertaining.
also good. We saw
Atletico
that.
conceding from corners.
Bro,
Always
and
conceding from
the
No,
corners.
it wasn't
goalkeeper.
a corner. It wasn't a corner. It was a quick pass and then a
Oh
cross.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I mean not corner. I don't know why I said that, but always conceding in
in the
corners.
But
last minutes.
to finish the menu Bayern topic, you know what? There's no reason why menu should not be the way they perform. I know they didn't have a good performance as a team, but again, they fought against Bayern. The way they perform against Bayern, there should not be any reason why they don't beat Galatasaray and Copenhagen.
Well, I mean, no. If they can't beat those teams, like you don't deserve to like get
That's what
through
I'm
to the
saying.
knockout.
I know. We're saying in the predictions that watch out. Like be careful when you put up a 4-3 scoreline against Bayern. Even if you lose, that's respectable enough to be like, damn, okay.
Okay,
We
but do you
should at
think
least.
that scoreline is like telling of the game? Because I don't think it's telling of the game
But but
whatsoever.
but but that's the thing. It's
I think the
telling.
game.
You know what? Okay, here's the thing. The, something that's very telling is how you respond when you get scored on, and how aggressive you are to come back. Some teams get
Yeah.
demoralized. And Man U fought their way back to a 4-3. So again, it wasn't a pretty game, but they did what I needed to do to get close at certain points.
Well, okay. So, I asked that question, like, hey, is the scoreline telling? Because I think that Bayern Munich they could have been winning like 7-3,
Mhm, I
6-3,
agree.
something like that. Because I think that Bayern Munich were extremely wasteful up front. I believe that Bayern Munich they hit the post like what 2 or 3 times. You had a couple shots from Sane, a couple shots from Musiala, and even from Choupo-Moting, which called Onana to make a save. And so when I look at it, I'm thinking like, hey, Manchester United got away with one there. And when you look at how Manchester United scored their goals, it was like almost all of them were scrappy. The first goal, it was a Rashford like lucky bounce. I landed on I believe it's Hall. It's a new striker. I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah,
Um, and then their second goal. I don't even remember how they scored it. How was the second
All I
goal?
want to say,
it was
game out,
Casemiro, right? Two goals
game,
from
yeah,
Casemiro.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and the third one was like a header, but like Ulrich, like what are you doing? And
Look,
so like I
look,
just think the goals were very fortunate.
game outcomes build confidence.
Yeah,
So
you can say
I
that.
do believe that with how this game ended, you know what? I don't care if it was three auto goals from Bayern. Seeing they put up a good fight against Bayern should be telling enough that I don't see. Maybe we see a draw against Galatasaray away from home. But aside from that,
But you definitely expect Manchester United to go through because I
yeah,
don't think that that's right.
yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure we
think
offer.
Copenhagen is going through.
Copenhagen is going
Yeah,
through.
they should call them hot takes, Alex, bro.
Yeah, oh my god.
Copenhagen is going second,
That's a
guys.
volcano hot take.
Oof.
Okay.
But I want to give
When
props.
United when United do something in the league, we'll talk.
Bro, they haven't won a
Look,
trophy in
I
like
mean,
a major trophy in like what 10 years, something like
No,
that.
no, no. We're not talking about trophies because then you guys are gonna flame me. I'm talking.
true.
I'm talking strictly about
Hey, yo,
how they
Ange
started
ball
the
is
season.
cooking, bro. Ange ball is cooking. Ange
That's
ball
what
is
I'm
cooking.
saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying right now. Hey, Harry Kane, who? But I definitely want to give props to Musiala and Sane because we're like, bro, both of them were absolutely cooking. They were both
Especially Sonny. Sonny really surprised me. He's a player that I haven't watched in a while. Like, and he was great.
bro. Yeah, question: peak Sane or peak Son?
No, peak Son because Son has a more complete game to him.
I would say Son because his peak it gave him like a golden boot. Like
Yeah,
he
and I
finished.
mean, I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, they're very different wingers. Like, I think Sane is more of a traditional winger. Like, he crosses the ball more. He's a little. I think he's quicker. He's more like of a dribbler, maybe. But Son, I think Son is more of a goal scorer. Um, and I don't know. I feel like Son is the more complete player out of the two. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Um.
Sane is a great player.
I don't know who are you taking?
I think so. Yeah.
Son? Okay, wow. So we're all going for Son. Wow. Because like in another
His
podcast, I actually
his role for Spurs and at its peak is greater than Bayern. And I know Spurs have less class players than Bayern. So
okay,
Sané might be overshadowed at Bayern. That doesn't matter.
okay. I mean that's solid. But now let's actually switch groups and let's talk about PSG versus Dortmund. Were you guys able to watch this game at all,
Yeah.
or no?
Not much.
Hey,
Okay, but
PSG are cooking. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the way they played against Dortmund.
well, I mean, like, hey, Dortmund are awful. Like
Yeah, but still.
yeah, their defense is absolutely atrocious. But the whole point of this conversation is, hey, can PSG win the UCL? Because that's our talking point every
No, no, and
Fuck
I'll tell
no.
you. I'll tell you. Listen, I'll tell you why they can't win the UCL. If we thought PSG had no experience in the UCL before, they don't have any now. Like you look at the entire squad, there's there's barely any players with the experience or the confidence to make it far into the competition. And bro, defensively, that team cannot survive a big club like Bayern or City. Like imagine Manchester City the way they play, or a team like Bayern just going against. I'm so sorry. Like the PSG stands no chance. They really
Dude.
don't. Like
uh,
offensively, you have Mbappe, you have Asensio.
you have Asensio. You have well, he's actually one game away from being 007 in the US in the French hospital.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's why I didn't even mention Dembele because he doesn't.
yeah, I mean, like he's not fit. And then you have Kolomwani, who like I know some people who prefer like Gonzalo Ramos, over
Yeah,
Kolomwani, but your preference. But once again, if PSG they couldn't win a Champions League with Messi, Neymar, Verratti, all these players,
they're not
I
gonna
don't
win it now.
I don't see they need a complete and utter rebuild from the ground up to start a completely new
I
project.
would honestly say sell Mbappe for a shit ton of money and just excuse me and just buy like invest in your defensive midfield because
Yeah.
your attacking players aren't terrible. Gonzalo Ramos isn't bad. Dembele, if he's healthy, he's good. Um,
Well, question marks over Dembele, honestly.
yeah,
It's that simple. Like it's not anything super exciting. But I don't know. Any thoughts on the PSG versus Dortmund game?
I didn't watch much of it. I know it was 2-0. Again, like you said, Dortmund has been terrible, so you can't just say that PSG is gonna run away with a group or much less when they be a
Uh-huh.
major contender to the UCL. On paper, their team's a downgrade, and honestly, I don't see how running a worse team than last year is gonna do better for your result at the end of the year.
Okay.
They still gotta run through Newcastle. They still gotta run through Milan,
Yeah. And,
which
and, and
are which on paper and in our opinions, I think we can agree that Milan and Newcastle, or at least Newcastle, are better teams than Dortmund.
yeah, and what's super key in that group is in the order in which the games are going to be played, in which the order that the games are going to be played, because actually Newcastle is going to play Dortmund twice before they have to go and play PSG. For example, Milan they have to play PSG back to back, home and away, and that's in October and early November. And then, for example, that's what screwed us at times in last season. Just like the fixtures in which we had to play, for example.
But props to PSG for the win. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
perhaps the
A
PSG for the
win to
win.
win, and Dortmund is no, it's no small club. They're just not at a great point in well, in their history. They literally
Yeah, I mean, like,
they
yeah,
bottled the league last season. They didn't get off to a good start in the
bro,
Bundesliga
you
in
had it.
the
You had it.
UCL.
You had the opportunity there to basically win it. And what do? You absolutely crumble at home. Bro. I mean, they have the Spurs bottle job gene in them.
They're
can
probably
we
cousins.
can we please talk about Lazio Atletico?
Bro.
Because as an Atletico fan, I would just kill myself.
Okay, but I will kill myself regardless because you're watching terrorism ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah, yeah.
bro, have you
Wait.
seen the Taliban tweet like
Look,
a photo of
look.
like Tuchel, Diego Simeone, Valverde, and Xavi, and saying like, "Hey, like we do not recognize these four members as like the Taliban. And if they do come, they'll be like moderately stoned." Bro, have you seen that? Have you seen the meme?
Yes. No, man. Listen.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. Look,
Atletico. I have no respect for that team anymore. I'm so sorry.
look.
Like,
I'm not a coach, and I could never be a coach. It's meant to be something. Why the fuck is Atletico trying to? Because it looks like an outside trap against a goalie. They are every single man on defense is sprinting. None of them are bothering about standing their ground and keeping off any Lazio player from getting into the box to score the header. They're all sprinting in the opposite direction. The Lazio goalie just had to jog to the ball and header it. If you want, like, look at the replay. Not a single Atletico defender bothered looking around saying, "Hey, man, you know what? There's a big yellow guy that stands out from the entire Lazio team running to me."
Wait, but like, hey, I mean,
That
like,
was
you
crazy.
have to admit that was actually like a pretty dope cross.
Yo,
Like,
no, I hope Atletico Madrid finishes fourth.
they probably
bro,
will.
They probably will.
and hey, this is not the first time that they had like a result like that,
Holy
because
shit.
because last year they had like a pretty similar group and they finished last. They weren't able to even get into the Europa League. And
I
so
mean,
like,
but look, like that just shows like it shows two things. Simeone out. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, his time
Yeah,
is up. He
yeah.
already won you the league. He already won you the league, and he got you to two UCL finals.
yeah,
Let it go, man. Let it go.
It's dead.
let it go. Um,
And the other thing I want to say is like, bro, tactically that team is ass. Like, they have good players, but I don't understand. Like, that's genuine
Yeah.
terrorism ball. Like I don't get what they're doing. Like, it's like they're playing with like 12 defenders. I don't.
Yo,
well,
that's like a nuclear parking the bus, a nuclear bus.
You thought Mourinho parked the bus? Yeah, you haven't seen Simeone.
oh my god, bro, that's actually like terrorism football. But just quick, Arsenal versus PSV Eindhoven. Um, the, can Arsenal make it far in the Champions League? Yes or no?
As the number one Arsenal hater, I will say they can. Um, like all jokes aside, no, all jokes aside, they do look solid in the UCL. I
Bro,
just
because
think
they had a 4-0 victory.
no, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like
PSV is not a bad rival. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. PSV is a good team, so I could see Arsenal getting far. It just depends on two things, right? Their injuries, because I believe Gabriel Martinelli is a little injured. I believe he had. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I believe Martinelli picked up an injury. But
Okay.
I honestly think it's injuries and if their defense can hold, because we know like up top they're solid. Their midfield is good too, but defensively they're still a little suspect at times. But great win. Can they get far? Sure. If they don't have a terrible road to the final, like if they get teams that are around their own quality or slightly less, I could see them getting to
Well, I mean,
quarterfinals or even semis.
if they finish first, they'll be avoiding like the big heavy hitters, for example, because they wouldn't be able to play Manchester United in Group A because like you can't play the same team. When you look at Group C, you're thinking that Real Madrid finished first, and so Napoli is a potential opponent. Group D, you have Inter and Real Sociedad. Either of those teams, you fancy their chances, as well as Benfica. Group E, you have Atletico Madrid, basically like the only top team, but not
yo,
nothing much.
I keep thinking about this that Madrid game. Imagine if Madrid loses in Berlin.
Oh, bro, you know what? And like, I wouldn't say that's like completely crazy
Because
to think about.
people always say, oh, if you play, if for example, everybody's gonna be like, oh, they won 1-0 at home, so they're gonna lose away. That's not how sports work.
Let
But
me actually zoom in
that
now you
would
guys
be
can see a little bit better.
hilarious, dog.
Yeah, so like Real Madrid right here, um, against against Napoli. But in the Group F, the only opponent that Arsenal can really play is they can't play Newcastle, even though they finished second. PSG, they're most likely going to finish first. Milan, Dortmund, you could say it's 50-50. Right here, RB Leipzig, and obviously we expect Barcelona to finish first, and so there's absolutely no way they'd be playing Barcelona. And so when you look at uh, Arsenal's run in the Champions League, if they finish first, it's actually very, very favorable because like this is one of the weakest Champions League in recent years. And so I ask you guys, how far is this Arsenal team going to go?
I could see them quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals?
And
Okay.
honestly, like I think that's a great start to being back in the UCL, because they haven't been back in like what, like 10 plus years. Like they haven't been in the UCL. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating, but they haven't been in the UCL in a while. And to be back, and
I
get
agree
a
with Alex.
quarterfinal finish, I think that's great for them.
I think quarterfinals is a dub. Obviously, every team that
Yeah,
was
I don't
in
think even Arsenal fans don't think they're gonna win. But
obviously every team has an equal shot once they're in the knockout stage, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it'll be a dub for them after being out for so long. A new young team coming in.
Okay.
I think it'll be a good look.
Okay. Um,
I don't see them
I
getting to the
I
semifinals.
did. I also think like quarterfinals. I think that's realistic. Semifinals only if they have a super favorable
Yeah,
draw. But no way they get to the final.
depending on their matchup. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on the matchup. But guys, final question before we round off the episode and our UCL reaction. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Manchester City. But guys, once again, Alvarez, World Cup champion, just showing what he's made of. Guys, when you're a World Cup
he's better than
champion,
Haaland in my opinion.
Yo, hop
I
off.
said what I said.
bro, he is a better footballer. It's that simple. He remember he's a World Cup champion. But guys, final question. Final question. Who is the favorite to win this edition? Is it still Manchester City, or are you guys looking at another team potentially?
Nah,
Listen.
it's too early. It's too early. Like right
Okay, look,
now.
but I'm gonna give you a blind prediction. Manchester City, Bayern Munich,
Okay.
and at third place I have a tie between Madrid and Barcelona. I
Yo,
understand Madrid starts off
look.
early. I don't want to hear.
This is literally you guys can go back to the video where we made a prediction. I said it. The two heavyweights are Bayern and City. You guys were saying the top three. I was saying top two, and then number three will be
Okay.
dark horses. Madrid was not convincing. If we're saying that it's too early to, I was saying right now that it's too early to predict of the first game of the UCL. But one thing that stands out is Madrid didn't look good. So for me right now, City, Bayern, and number three, a lot of ties. I think Barca has a legitimate chance. I think Madrid, regardless of their start,
I
has a good
actually
chance.
wait.
Yeah,
Um,
they're solid
I mean,
teams.
yeah. When I look at the favorites, when people ask me that question, honestly, I'm in the mindset of a lot of fans where it's separated into two tiers. Basically, Manchester City at tier one, and it's only them. I think that they're the outright
Yeah,
favorites because when you look at the overall squad, when you have Pep, because for example, what happens if KDB and Holland gets injured? Bro, you put in Alvarez, you put in Foden, you put
yeah.
in Grealish, you put in Doku.
That
Bro, they
that
have
that, that is a deep ass team.
yeah, it's so deep. They have so many options. It's just like, for example, if Pedri or Lewandowski or for example Harry Kane or Musiala they get injured, if Vinny and Jude Bellingham get injured, what happens? You know, like a lot of teams they can't deal with that. And
I'm gonna
so
say a,
in
I'm gonna say a very bold prediction. If Barca
okay,
is somehow, which I think is a very there's a very difficult thing to do, if
okay,
they're somehow able to keep that back four of Balde, Christensen, incoming now Araujo, and Cancelo, they can keep them. If they keep that back four healthy and consistent, they're number three, and it's not a tie.
Hmm.
okay, okay.
Obviously,
But
if you have Cancelo getting injured, you have Seido filling in, and you have
so
and,
you
and you
Roberto,
and you
I
have
actually
bro.
Kunde.
want Sahir Roberto to be striker.
Kunde's a very good center back. He's not Araujo.
No, 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 no,
So
no. I want Sergio Roberto and Marcos Alonso nowhere near the
yo,
squad,
yo,
bro. In
so
the
and
reserves.
again,
Let's
if
get
we
Marcos
see
Alonso another DUI.
if Joao, this guy, bro, if
This
Joao
guy.
Felix has that form, your two holes on the team that were right back and left wing are fixed. So
Is the two Joaos?
Bro, it's gonna be
if
crazy.
if if that back four is healthy and consistent, Barca's number three.
Okay. But continuing on my statement. Second tier, I have everyone else. I have Arsenal, Madrid, Bayern, Barca.
Okay.
I have those teams there, and then literally it's everyone else, because once again,
Everyone
it's
else,
open. It's
everyone
open.
else, tier five, Atletico.
That's your five
Nah,
Atletico.
Atletico gets S tier.
Atletico gets us tier. Oh, bro,
Dynasty
it's
tier.
fun.
They're
It's
gonna
fun.
win.
It's
They're
fun.
gonna win this UCL. Watch.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no,
Imagine
bro.
Spurs and Buffalo win.
taking all this shit and they win the UCL.
Oh,
We, we,
bro.
we, we we gotta end the channel.
But we agree Union Berlin is winning it all, right?
But if Atletico Madrid they do win it, who's gonna be winning it? It's gonna be an
I was said
Argentine
I'm a
coach.
fan.
It's going to be an Argentine coach with Argentine players in the squad, so it's only natural, of course, because Argentine players are winners. But
This guy.
we all know about that. But guys, I don't know your guys' thoughts on everything that we have discussed. What are your thoughts on all the games that were played this weekend? I mean, this week actually. Not this weekend. I'm already thinking of Barcelona playing Celta de Vigo this weekend, seeing whether Joao Felix can continue his good form. But guys, let us know down below your thoughts on everything that we have discussed, guys. And as always, remember like, subscribe, and comment. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We'll catch you guys all